Hi, I'm Dr. Stan Steindl, and last week I had the great honour to make a quick dash across to Palo Alto University in Northern California and do some fun and meaningful work across 5 days of presentations and workshops. As always, I learned as much as anyone there through some fascinating questions, comments, discussions about how to help people enhance compassion motivation. So I thought I would share one particular piece of that with you now. Compassion conversations. So let's set the scene. Two people talking. One person is the listener and one person is the speaker. The listener is interested and engaged, working to help the speaker to express themselves around compassion and self-compassion, and maybe both sides of the argument. The speaker is responding, exploring and elaborating their own perspective, feeling understood by the listener, and gradually understanding themselves a little better. So here's an example. Let me know what you think. You can be pretty tough on yourself. You've noticed that yourself, and I've noticed it too when you speak about your life and the things that you've done or haven't done. Yeah, it can be a real problem. But I have to stay motivated. I've got to keep myself in check. I just can't fall into some sort of self-pity. You feel like some of the self-criticism keeps you motivated, keeps you in check. Yeah, well, that's how I was brought up. You've got to have that drive. And that's just how it is, how it's got to be. I don't know. Yeah, but no. I mean, sometimes it gets really harsh and vicious, and I just end up feeling bad, hopeless even. You've noticed that self-criticism doesn't always work the way you'd like. Sometimes it can be unhelpful, perhaps even demotivating. Yeah. Sometimes it's helpful, but most of the time I just end up feeling worse. What would you like to change in terms of being a little less self-critical and treating yourself in more helpful ways? Well, I would like to be less self-critical. Maybe soften the tone a bit. But sometimes it feels like it comes along with a frantic or panicked kind of feel to it. And I just think I need to pull myself together a bit more and think about things more logically. I'm not sure whether this will sound quite right for you, but it's kind of like treating yourself more compassionately. Certainly in terms of feeling grounded and strong and approaching yourself in more logical, wise ways. What do you make of that? Well, I definitely want to be more grounded. That's a good word for it. And wiser about it all. I just want to try to find ways to be more helpful when things go wrong, rather than attacking myself. You're not sure whether compassion is quite the right word, but certainly grounded, wise, committed to be helpful, those sound like a good way to go. Well, not compassion that's self-pity. I don't want that. Certainly, you're not interested in a kind of compassion that lets you off the hook, but wise, strong, courageous, committed, those are qualities that you actually already have. I can be that way with family and friends. Precisely. I just want to be more that way with myself. So, what are some reasons you'd like to be more like that? Well, first of all, so that I'll be a little bit less self-critical, but not soft. Being more compassionate towards yourself might help you to be a little less self-critical, but no less encouraging of yourself. Exactly. I like the word encouraging. I mean, if I can be a little bit less self-critical, then I'll probably feel better and not be down in the dumps all the time. But keeping a bit of self-encouragement. I can still stay motivated and keep moving forward with things. The best of both worlds. Yeah. Anything else? Any other reasons to be a bit more compassionate with yourself? Well, I start to hear myself in my kids. You notice them saying things that are more critical of themselves. I'm pretty sure I got it from my parents, and I'm pretty sure I'm passing it on to my kids. This is really pretty important. It would mean a lot to you if you could make a change in this way. Great for you and great for the kids. If you could just find a way to move from a self-critical style to a more self-compassionate style. If you were going to go ahead and make a shift like that, how would you go about it? Well, I need to start with getting grounded, as you say. We've talked a little bit about breathing, and I think breathing can perhaps help with that. Maybe help me to slow down my brain a little bit. Yes, soothing rhythm breathing. That could be a place to start, feeling less frantic and more grounded, connecting with that intrinsic wisdom and becoming more self-compassionate. It would really help if we could go through that again. I feel like if I could understand it a bit better and perhaps start practicing, then I could just turn down the volume on my self-criticism a bit. Okay, great. Yes, we can certainly do that before you leave. Perhaps that's something that you can take away as a place to start, and then practicing it a little and having it there when time gets tough. And maybe we can then build on that from there. Yeah, sounds like a good place to start. Okay, so you feel like self-criticism does have an upside. It can motivate. On the other hand, it can get pretty harsh and just make you feel worse. So you feel like you'd like to soften that a little bit and find a way to feel less frantic, more grounded, and perhaps more logical and wise about things. Self-compassion, as long as it's not self-pity, feels like a good way to go with lots of good reasons. It's great for you and it would be great for the kids, and that bit is important to you. And you feel like the place to get started is with the soothing rhythm breathing. We've just had a chance to talk through that again and give it another go. So leaving here, what will you do next in terms of taking steps towards more self-compassion? Okay. Well, I see value in the grounding. I really think that my self-criticism seems to be all wrapped up in anxiety. So I will. I'll get started with the soothing rhythm breathing. In fact, I'll schedule it for every day. Every day? That sounds fantastic. And we can see how it goes from there. Yeah, that'll be good. So, there you go. A compassion conversation where we explored both sides and gradually moved towards making a commitment. As I say, very keen to hear what you think as you listen to that conversation. What did you make of that? And of course, I wish you all the very best on your compassionate journey.